our Honorable Executive Director, Dr. Girish Desai sir, and under the guidance of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Manimala Puri Madam, and Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Sudeep Thepade. We feel privileged that we are working under such a wonderful team, and our students are going to be nurtured, going to be guided, going to be nourished, and will be turned not only as a good, I should say, professionals, but also as a torch bearer to the society with a combination of humanity and that is of science, social, computer science, engineering, medical science, and number of other different areas. So I request Ms. Rebecca how the humanity and AI can be combined. Let us know the way, the usage, and the importance. Over to you, Ms. Rebecca.
Thank you, ma'am. Just give me a minute. I'll share my screen.
Please, please, please take your time. A wonderful slide showing engineers and humanity hand in hand.
Okay. Am I
Yes.
audible, visible, and my slide is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Everything is set.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity, and I'm really glad to be speaking on a topic like this. So today we are going to look at the predominance of humanities in an AI-dominated world. Okay. So what do you see on the slide here? These are various different activities that humans have been doing. And if few years ago somebody had asked us, could you imagine AI driving your car? We would say no. But today AI is doing everything that we see today right now on the slide. How is that? The best of technologies always understands the most important needs of humans. We need to remember this. Okay. Let's say I develop an amazing technology, but that does not satisfy any human need. Is that of any use? No. AI is AI because it fulfills so many of human needs. Okay. With that introduction, let's remember that it is technology that serves human and not the other way around. Okay. So this is roughly what we will be dealing with over the course of the next 50 minutes. When we think of AI, the mind of AI, you should always think of a box. Okay. This is important for understanding how AI functions and how it processes information. So let's imagine that there is a huge box. Now the box on this slide is very small, but imagine it's a huge box. And imagine that all the information of the entire universe is contained or fed into that box. Okay. Now, all this information is then fed into the mind of artificial intelligence. So, when we ask a question to AI or ChatGPT, okay, tell me what is the contribution of romanticism in literature. Okay, so what will AI do? It has all these a lot of information. So the dots in the boxes, they represent scores of different subjects and information. Okay, so when I ask a question to ChatGPT, what it does is it makes connections from among the dots all over the box, and then it gives me an answer. Now this is easy for ChatGPT because all the information is contained in one box. It is easy for it to retrieve the information and give it out to me whenever needed. But for humans, it is very surprising. Why? Because we are not aware of all the dots that are there in the box. we only have maybe an idea about one particular area of the box. We have in knowledge only of that much. So when we get information from ChatGPT about some other area, it seems very surprising to us. Okay, and that is only because we are not aware of the other dots that are there in the box. So this is how the brain of AI works. Now, how does human brain work? It's like this. Okay, there are some dots, there is a box, there are some dots in the box, and there are many dots outside the box. So that is how humans think. How humans think. For example, if I think of romanticism, okay, I will think of not only what information I know about romanticism, I may even think of a flower, I may think of poetry, I may think of all kinds of things that are not in the box. Why? Because human mind is wired to think based on its experiences, based on my emotions, based on my feelings, based on my five senses. Okay, so suddenly I could think of a smell that I had got. Suddenly I could think of something that I had seen years ago, and it could come to my mind out of the blue. Why? Because human mind is like this. So quite literally, you can see that the AI mind is inside the box thinking, whereas the human mind is outside the box thinking. Okay. Now with that introduction, let's look at some things that AI is very good at doing. Okay, and we need to admit that AI is good at it. Okay, so what are the things? The first is data analytics and computer programming. AI is very good at it because it has, like, you remember the box. Okay, for the next of the PPT, remember the box with all the dots. So AI can immediately make connections. It is trained to write codes. It's so because it can write codes well, it can detect bugs. It can detect if there's anything wrong, any malware with the software, and it can test itself, and it can even diagnose. Okay, so AI is good in this area. Coming to synthesizing information. What is synthesizing information? Bringing all the information together and presenting it in a way that is easy to understand. Now this AI can do because, remember the box, it has all the information. So it just has to make connections of, what is what, and then it gives you the information, and we are very impressed by the way it has presented it. So it can put the data into graphs, it can put the data into a summary form, whereas humans will take a long time to read a paragraph and then to summarize it. AI can do it within seconds, because it is good at synthesizing information. Then let's look at education. Okay, we know students are using ChatGPT. Teachers also are using ChatGPT, not for lecture preparation, but other things like grading, assessment, getting grids, all that AI does very well. So we should use AI in education also, but again, to a limit. So we will come to that later. Okay. It is also good at creative work. Now, why have I put the word creative in inverted commas? Because what we think AI does creatively, it's actually only doing a copy paste. Okay. So how AI works is, when it comes to writing or digital art, anything creative, digital art, painting, gaming, writing lyrics to music, putting a tune for your music, okay, all this AI can do very well, and it's actually very interesting. It's a great hobby, if you want to do it. But what AI does is, it is just a simulation and a curation. Remember these two words when you think of AI generated art. It is a simulation and a curation. What is a simulation? Simulation is when something that is unreal is made to look real. Okay. And also it is a curation. Curation is collection of data from vast sources. For example, let's say you want AI to generate a painting for you, and you give it a prompt to generate a painting for me with this feature, that feature. So AI has access to all the information of the world. So AI will copy works of other artists who have posted their work on the internet, and they will make an amalgamation of all their painting, and they will change it to such a way that you will not even know कि किसका copy किया है. You will not know who they have copied. You will think, wow, AI has done something unique. But let's remember that this is not unique. Now, this is one reason why many artists and writers today are suing AI industry, claiming that they are taking away our jobs and they are belittling the prestige of real art. Okay, so that's again another issue. But let's remember, this is what I want you to take away from the session, that anything creative that AI does is not really a creation, but it is a simulation and a curation. Okay. Now let's look at things that AI cannot do. Firstly, it cannot understand emotion. If you're trying to be funny with AI, it does not understand your joke. If you're being sarcastic, it doesn't get your sarcasm. Okay. So AI cannot process consequences of an action. AI does not understand emotions. It does not, it lacks emotional intelligence and these things. Secondly, ethical implications. AI does not take responsibility of an action. Okay, once if you ask AI for ask AI to give you an answer, once it gives an answer, it doesn't take responsibility uh, if the answer is wrong or if it is borrowed or copied. Okay, so it does not understand ethical implications or the consequences of its action. Coming to critical thinking, we saw that AI is quite literally inside the box thinking. So it does not think critically, it does not question. Whatever prompt you have given the AI chatbot, it works on the command because it's a robot. It has to um, um, give your command output, and that's what AI does. Okay, it doesn't think creatively, and it's only when we incorporate humanities into AI can we develop transparent regulations that ensure that AI systems are fair, okay, and in line with human values. So critical thinking is something missing from AI. Then comes creative thinking. Okay, again, remember the box. So it can only respond to prompts. It doesn't think outside the box, and it cannot make connections. So if I want to write something, okay, if I want to write an essay, maybe I'll write an essay based on some childhood memory of mine, okay, or some experience that has stayed fresh in my heart. Okay, now these are things based on my memory, on my feelings, and that's what provokes or evokes my creativity. That is not the case with AI. It just takes whatever it can get and it gives you the output. Okay. Now, can you tell me what these three heroes have in common? We all know them and we all love to watch them. But we should remember to apply what they do also to some extent in our life. Okay. So one thing common in these three superheroes is that when they have to defeat an enemy, they take advantage of the enemy's weakness. Okay. So to defeat the enemy, you have to make use of the weakness of the enemy. You have to play to your strength, yes, but at the same time take advantage of the weakness of the enemy. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not calling AI the enemy. It's a great tool for us as humans, and we'll come to that in the following slide. But at the same time, if we want to stay on top of humanity, okay, on top of AI, then we need to be in line with what AI can never do, that is be a human. Okay. So why does AI need humans? I will give you 5 reasons and some more as well. Let's look at these one by one. Okay. The first one is ethical implications. So AI, in order to understand the ethical implications of AI, humans need to be in touch with philosophy, ethics, and social sciences. Only then will they be able to think in that direction, think critically, okay? Because AI is incapable of bias and fairness, okay? Because it's a machine. Secondly, security and inequality concerns are there. We need to remember that when we feed information into AI, how much of it is going to affect us later, we don't think about that, right? Similarly, moral responsibility. AI doesn't have moral responsibility to anybody. That is why it just gives you the information without thinking of the consequences. Now I'll give you an example for that. So I asked ChatGPT, to write a paragraph on the contributions of Sam Ptolemy Toys. Have you heard of this person? I don't think you would have heard of this person because I invented this person. It's Sam stole my toys. I just created a character and I asked ChatGPT, please tell me, write a paragraph on the contributions of Sam stole.
And hopefully,
And
Rebecca
it's
ma'am,
confident. Yes.
you might have got a paragraph as well on the same, about the same.
Yeah.
That is the beauty of that artificial intelligence.
Exactly, ma'am. Yeah. So AI, this imaginary character, AI has given me a full paragraph on this character when that character does not even exist, okay, in full confidence. But why is that the case? So is AI really telling us lies? Is it lying to us? In a way, yes, but also no. Why? Because AI is always written. Whatever output AI gives us, ChatGPT gives us, it is in scientific language. And if you know language well, you will understand that scientific language is written very confidently. Okay, you cannot say that it may or may not prove. Okay, you have to be confident. Scientific language itself is like that. Okay, so AI has used scientific language and it in full confidence, it has given us this imaginary paragraph on this imaginary character. Later, when I asked ChatGPT, but who is Sam Ptolemy Toys? Then ChatGPT tells me, oh no, it's a fictional character just created for the purpose of illustrating a hypothetical contribution. But I never asked it to create a hypothetical creature, right? So this is the ethical consideration. ChatGPT did not tell me that you are asking me about a person who does not exist. No, it was only interested. It was trained to give me output and it gave me output. Whether it was right or wrong, ChatGPT is not bothered about that. Okay, so that is where humans need to use their intellect and their critical thinking. So whatever you put on ChatGPT, please don't consider that as a proof. Use it to get inspiration, to get a good start to your or a structure to whatever you are writing or speaking about, but always take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, second reason why AI needs humanities is because of user experience and interaction. What is user experience and interaction? Now, anyone can train AI to design, right? But for that design to connect with the audience, and understanding of the socio-economic background is very important. You need to understand which culture this or which age group this technology is aimed at helping. For example, now these are different colors and what these different colors mean in different cultures. You can read the slide. That is one example. Another example is, have you wondered why the Gen X and the Gen Y people, generation X and Y, they love, so our parents or our grandparents would love Facebook. But the current generation, Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, they don't like Facebook. Many of my students don't even use Facebook. Why? Because they are very active on Instagram and Snapchat, because it is more, it connects more. Somehow the user interface of these apps connect more with their age group. Okay. So the Gen Z, Gen Alpha age is less writing, more pictures. That is why Instagram and Snapchat does very well among that generation. And Facebook, on the other hand, wishing people on birthdays and all, and that's not a Gen Z thing, right? So that we will leave to our parents, and that's why they like that app better. Now, in order to understand this, we needed to have an understanding of psychology, human psychology, how humans work, how psychology of age groups, also a knowledge of socio-cultural background of certain cultures. So this is user interface. Okay. So every interface of any AI is developed with the help of humanities majors. Next reason is cultural context and diversity. This is similar to the previous point, but how does cultural context and diversity help? Because it takes insights from humanities to help the AI developers avoid cultural bias in the algorithms and ensure that the technology is free of any cultural bias. Okay. This you will find this statistic very interesting. This is from the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission of US. This is from the study done in 2014. They conducted a study to check how many different ethnicities are making use of American technology. And to their shock, the white population was the majority, and you can see the disparity within the white and all the other cultures. Now, why do you think that other ethnicities, Black, Hispanic, and Asian Americans, use less of the technology? It's nothing but the cultural barrier. Okay, so somehow, maybe because of the way the technology was built way back then, or maybe because of the way marketing of the technology was done, the other ethnicities felt that maybe this technology is not for us, and so they didn't venture out into buying those or using those technologies, and only the whites used them. So this exactly is the reason why understanding of socio-cultural background is very important. Okay, and so you'll be surprised to find that Google and OpenAI and other tech companies that now develop AI are hiring user experience designers, and for the very reason that they provide them a little background of the technology and how it should be marketed and reached out to the people. Okay, so they ask questions like, how can I make the product more accessible? How can I make the product easier to use and more able to connect with the people or the user? Okay. Next reason is creativity and innovation. As we saw that creativity, art, literature, or anything else that AI creates is all copied. We need human originality and human creativity for that. Okay. Now this is an article. This I have taken from an article titled "Why Google Hires Humanities Majors," and one reason is creativity and innovation. Apart from user experience, what we saw earlier, creativity and innovation is another major need. So for creativity and innovation, it develops insights from storytelling and human art and things like that. Okay. Next is content strategist. A content strategist is also hired by Google and OpenAI. What is the role of a cultural strategist? Content planning, strategy development, okay, audience research, understand the audience, analyze what they like, what they don't like, what will fit, content creation, not only creation, but also promoting that content among the audience, monitoring the performance and optimizing it, content governance and management. All these things, don't you think somebody with an expertise in humanities only can do this, right? Okay, so that is why AI needs humanities. Now, many of my students ask me, ma'am, abhi grammar क्यों पढ़ना है? Kyunki Grammarly is there and so many other apps are there to help us to correct our grammar. I don't think I need to study subject, verb, and active, passive voice. AI will do it for me. They are right, okay, but there are a lot of shortcomings when you use grammar checking tools. Okay, some things that grammar checking tools cannot check is your poor structure. It will only check your grammar. So if your sentence is making sense, it's not necessary that in an entire paragraph that particular sentence is making sense, right? So it does not check for structure. Polysemy that refers to coexistence of many possible meanings. Now, one sentence can mean many different things, and Grammarly will not check that for you. Redundancy and repeat. There could be one sentence repeated 2-3 times. You would not even be aware. Okay, Grammarly will not point that out to you. It could also be vague wording. Sometimes when you read ChatGPT, you will find very vague words it comes up with. Okay, and that is and people who don't know English well will think that, oh, maybe it's a new word, it's a new phrase, but actually it's not. AI has just made a So I was listening to a TED talk the other day of somebody who was experimenting with ChatGPT, and they asked him to, he asked ChatGPT to write a song for him. And ChatGPT came up with 2-3 words that he had never heard before. Okay. And he checked on all dictionaries that he had available at his fingertips, but that word didn't exist anywhere. Okay. So vague wording is another thing which we cannot help if we are using, if you are relying only on grammar correction tool. Okay. Now something that maybe many of us might be having at our home, Alexa. Let's ask Alexa how it works. Okay. I'll give you a little gist of how Alexa works. Okay. So when we say, Alexa, tell me the weather outside, what happens is you have Alexa sitting there at your table, and it is in a dormant mode. It's not active. When you say Alexa, it gets activated. Okay. That is a cue for the device to wake up. So Alexa is that wake word. So Alexa is that wake word. Then when you say tell me, it launches. It gives you you give it an action, right? Tell me the weather outside, or play me this song. Do this for me, do that for me, switch off the light. So we start with a verb. So this gives helps AI or Alexa to launch. And then the weather outside, that part of the sentence is the invocation, telling Alexa exactly what to do. This is the same way Siri also works. Okay. Now, isn't this nothing but subject, word, and predicate? Right? So Alexa is your subject. Tell me becomes your verb. The weather outside is your predicate. Right? So, and also look at the diagram given just above that. So this is the communication cycle of Alexa. A user gives a command. Alexa hears the audio. It recognizes the speech. Then there is machine learning. There is natural language processing. It converts the text into speech, and then it gives it out back as a speech to you. Okay, it gives you the output or the answer. Now you will see that, look at the cloud. Okay, speech recognition, natural language processing, text to speech. Who else can help a developer with this other than a linguistics expert, right? Okay, so there, yes, we need engineers who will build and create Alexa. It is their brilliance because of which we have Alexa today. But let's not overlook the contribution of some linguistic expert who has sat with this developer and helped Alexa to become a success today. Okay. Next, also think of using AI for research. It seems very easy. You can get any research paper summarized. You can ask, you can copy from any source. You can paraphrase from any source, and AI will do all the copying and the paraphrasing. And for you, it can even check your plagiarism. It sounds too good to be true, right? But those of us who are doing a little bit of research, we will tell you that it's not as easy as it sounds. Okay, it's not all black and white. Yes, AI will check plagiarism for you, but it's not always accurate. Also, when it paraphrases, it does not always do it the way research papers require. Okay, to that level of stringency, it doesn't do it. Okay, so let's look at some of the challenges. Firstly, there is a potential for less critical engagement with literature. Okay, and a lot of data can be lost, and it could compromise with the quality of the research. Secondly, AI systems may introduce error or bias in writing due to the training based on existing data. Also, AI tools cannot fully replicate the way humans think. Okay, our kind of critical analysis and logical reasoning AI cannot do. Okay, because like we saw here, it is a AI creative work of AI is always a simulation and a curation. It is never a creation. Okay, so AI cannot do these things. And when I say bias, I wanted to stress a little bit more on the word bias. What do I mean when I say AI has tendency of creating bias? Isn't AI a robot, and robots cannot be biased, but they can. You know why? Have you ever noticed when you are talking to your friend about a topic, let's say you want to go to Manali for a vacation. Okay, you're just casually talking to your friend about going to Manali. Within few hours, when you open your Instagram or Facebook or any other social media app, you will find reels of people going to Manali. You will find vlogs of people who have gone there. You will find many different posts on Manali. And you'll be wondering, how did AI understand what I was thinking? How did it read my mind? But it has not actually read your mind. It has only heard your conversation. Okay. So what is AI doing with all the information that we are giving it? It's a big question. Okay. Another thing is, okay, now let's say that another example I'll give you. Let's say that I am an ardent follower of Ayurveda. Okay. I wholeheartedly, heart and soul believe in Ayurveda, and I do not believe in allopathy. Okay. So if I search on my phone, if I search benefits of Ayurveda, it will give me the benefit. Why? Because I have not asked it for the drawbacks of Ayurveda at all. So it will only give me the benefit. Then when I open YouTube, I will find YouTube videos of people who keep praising Ayurveda, saying it helped them to get cured of many ailments that allopathy couldn't. Okay. So it will give me only one-sided information. Let's say that I have a life-threatening disease, and I'm so convinced that Ayurveda will help me that I do not even go and check about the medical advancements that allopathy has, because I don't trust allopathy. Why? Because my phone kept telling me, AI has kept feeding into my brain that Ayurveda is the way to go. Okay? Yes, Ayurveda is a good medicinal practice, and so is allopathy, but we need to make the best of both worlds. So if we are searching for information, and let's keep in mind that whatever information we get and we say that it's a fact, I read it on AI, ChatGPT, I read it on Google. It's not always the case that it could be a fact, but it could also be biased. So let's always be open-minded about the information that we get from these sources. Okay. Here's what Marissa Mayer, the vice president of Google and the former CEO of Yahoo, has to say. She says, we are going through a period of unbelievable growth and will be hiring about 6,000 people this year, and probably 4,000 to 5,000 from humanities or liberal arts. Okay. So out of 6,000 employments that Google is going to generate, 4,000 to 5,000 alone is from humanities and liberal arts. Why would she say that? If the future of AI was only engineering, then there was no reason for Marissa to say this. There would be no reason for Google or other OpenAI or any other AI platforms to be hiring humanities experts. Okay. Now, if you don't believe Google, let's look at OpenAI. OpenAI is the one that invented ChatGPT. So this is, I've taken a screenshot of their web page. Just a minute, I think there is some delay. Am I audible? Is the slide changing?
Yes, you are audible. You are audible.
Which slide can you see? Okay, now it has
Oh,
changed. I think
yeah,
there is some
because
lag
it is also
in the
happening.
PPT.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So this is a screenshot that I have taken from the first page of, the careers page of OpenAI. I was curious to see what kind of different fields OpenAI is hiring from. So OpenAI says, this is what they say, we are looking for curious minds from a wide range of disciplines and backgrounds. Now, they wouldn't say this if they were looking only for engineers. Then look at the line below the picture. AI must be advanced with knowledge of and respect for humanity's full spectrum of experiences and perspectives. Okay. Now, this is not possible without an expertise in humanities. Okay. Let's look at what Microsoft has to say. I've changed the slide. Just give me a minute before the slide
Okay,
changes.
no issues, no issues. Take your time.
So Microsoft says, see, the portions that have been highlighted are the career opportunities for those with expertise in humanities background, consulting and customer support, design and creative, operations and supply chain, communications, consulting services, product and program management. Okay, all these careers are obviously for somebody with an expertise in humanities. And there are various articles on the internet now which tells us that why many of the major tech giants are hiring humanities majors. And sadly, we do not recognize this in India yet. Slowly that change is coming, but definitely it is there. Okay, so there are so many articles. Why you can see the two headings that are there on this PPT. So the old trend was STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now that is changing to STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Okay, so arts plays a major role. So let's go back to where we started at the beginning. Okay, we saw the slide and we saw that the best technology understands the most important needs of humans, right? So with the best of AI, we have the best AI right now with us, and it is only going to get better, not worse. So with the best of AI, we need the best of humanity. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that everybody should take up humanities. I am saying that even if you're taking up engineering, you need to be in line or in touch with your humanity side of you. Okay, because what happens is our human minds, when we are trained in one field for a long time, our brain begins to think only in that field. Okay, so if you are doing an engineering degree, over the course of your 4 years, you have been thinking only about codes and programming and machines. You may not be able to think critically or think like a humanities major would do, right? So every engineer also needs to be in line with their humanities, and also we need to understand and appreciate the contribution that humanities make to AI. No good technology can be developed without meeting the need of humans and without a good understanding of humanity. So let's remember this, that just waiting for the slide to change. Okay. STEM does not happen in a vacuum. Okay, we cannot say that science technology is the future of the world and this is what we need to do. Because if you only train yourself in coding and programming, AI is going to take your job. But unless you have something else to offer to your employer other than coding and programming, you are not going to be hired. Okay, so STEM does not happen in a vacuum. It affects and is affected by philosophy, design, economics, literature, and other aspects of humanity. So why? Because technology is for the people, and a holistic understanding of people needs the humanity. So with that, I would like to conclude. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask me now.
Well said, Rebecca ma'am. That reminded the essay that we used to write in our childhood days. Science, a boon or a curse. If we are using science in a very positive direction, it's a boon. If we are using it in a negative direction, it's a curse. So for making a balance, the humanity is also required along with, I should say, scientific activities. We faced during Corona or n number of epidemics used to took place, or now or in future that type of calamities will be. Science is to develop, but humanity is how to adopt that development. Development not at the cost of inhuman activities. Development not at the cost of creating problem for others. Development talks about overall development, where and we can again remember the beautiful line of Rabindranath Tagore: make my country free from all the shackles of I forgot the word, something related to slavery, where the mind is free and head is high. And that can be when, that can be when mind and heart both are, means science and humanity are working hand in hand. A very wonderful and informative session, Rebecca ma'am. And as you have visited, so again, I request whenever you got time, come to the university, visit us. And whenever we will get time, definitely we'll come to you. We'll have a face-to-face talk. And I'm pleased to have you in our webinar. And thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
The questions will be, ma'am, and I'll share with you.
Okay, sure. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.